There is something quietly heartbreaking about a landfill. Towers of discarded food, mountains of what was once somebody's dinner, somebody's harvest, somebody's hard work, rotting in the dark, unseen, unloved, and utterly wasted. We live in a world that throws away nearly a third of all the food it produces, and yet millions of people go to bed hungry every single night. That contradiction sits at the heart of this story, and garbage farming is one of the most powerful answers we have found to it. Garbage farming, also known as organic waste farming or compost-based agriculture, is the practice of turning what we discard into what sustains us. Instead of relying on expensive chemical fertilizers that deplete the soil over time, garbage farmers harness the power of nature's own recycling system. Fruit peels, vegetable scraps, grass clippings, animal manure, leftover food, all of these, when given the right conditions, are broken down by billions of invisible microorganisms into a rich, dark, nutrient-dense material called compost. And compost, this humble, earthy gift that smells of rain and possibility, is one of the most powerful growing mediums on the planet. This is not a new idea. Farmers have been composting for thousands of years. Long before chemicals existed, people knew instinctively that what returns to the earth feeds the earth. But today, with modern techniques and a growing global urgency, garbage farming is becoming a precise science, and for many families and communities, a life-changing one.
There is a quiet satisfaction in making something orderly out of something wild. Raised beds and planting rows are the architecture of a garbage farm, the careful, intentional shaping of space into purpose. Getting them right is not just about aesthetics. It is about giving every plant the best possible chance to thrive. In garbage farming, beds are built in layers, much like a lasagna. Alternating layers of carbon-rich materials like dried leaves and straw with nitrogen-rich organic waste like kitchen scraps and fresh grass clippings. This technique creates a bed that generates its own gentle heat, breaks down continuously into ultra-rich growing medium, and feeds the plants from the roots up. A living, breathing system long before the first seed ever touches it. Each bed is typically 1 to 1.2 meters wide, just narrow enough to reach the center without stepping inside, because in a garbage farm, the soil is never compacted, never crushed. It stays loose, aerated, and alive. Pathways between beds are left open and clear for movement, for irrigation, for the quiet daily ritual of walking your rows. And
the weeks that follow planting are quiet weeks, watchful weeks. The farmer walks the rows in the early morning light, bending low to check a leaf, brushing a finger across a stem, reading the plants the way you might read the face of someone you love, looking for signs, watching for worry, celebrating the small victories of new growth. The soil does much of the work on its own. The living ecosystem beneath the surface, bacteria and fungi and earthworms, works without rest, breaking down organic matter, cycling nutrients, keeping the roots healthy and fed. But the farmer continues to give back. Fresh compost is added between the beds. Mulch is laid down to hold the moisture. Organic matter is topping up what the plants are drawing from the ground. It is a relationship, this farming. A conversation between the grower and the grown. A cycle of giving and receiving that has no real beginning and no real end.
Now, let us talk about the numbers. Because garbage farming is not only a beautiful idea. Done right, it is a serious, sustainable business. And for families, smallholder farmers, and community cooperatives looking for an affordable entry into agriculture, the return on investment is genuinely remarkable. For a small garbage farm of approximately 500 square meters, the estimated startup costs are as follows. Land preparation, including clearing and soil testing, $50 to $100. Compost and organic waste, often sourced locally, sometimes completely free, $0 to $80. Seeds and seedlings, $30 to $60. A simple irrigation setup, $50 to $100. Tools and basic equipment, $40 to $80. Total estimated startup cost, approximately $170 to $420. In a single growing season, that same farm can produce leafy greens across 3 harvests, $200 to $400. Root vegetables across 2 harvests, $150 to $300. Fruiting crops like tomatoes and peppers, $250 to $500. Total estimated revenue, $600 to $1,200 per season. Estimated net profit in the first season, $400 to $800. By the second and third season, costs fall even further. The compost system is self-sustaining, the soil is richer than it was before, the farmer knows their land, their crops, their market. Many small-scale garbage farmers report a return on investment of 200 to 400% by their second year. And for those who want to grow beyond produce, the compost itself becomes a product. Bagged and sold to gardeners, landscapers, nurseries, and other farmers, it creates an additional income stream from the very waste that started everything. Garbage in, gold out.
The world has a waste problem, and a food problem, and a soil problem, and an economic problem. Garbage farming does not solve all of them, but it is one of the most elegant, accessible, affordable answers to all 4 at once. It asks nothing more of us than what we were already throwing away. It begins with what we discard. It ends with what sustains us. In every piece of garbage, there is a seed waiting to become a harvest. In every exhausted field, there is a farm waiting to be reborn. And in every person willing to put their hands in the earth and believe in what it can grow, there is a farmer.